All right, we have Weina back with us again for post-budget. Budget was tabled on Friday, and now we're going to discuss about how it has helped or how it will help Malaysians in 2021. Good morning, Weina.
Good morning, Bel and JD. Thanks for having me back again.
Always good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for coming back to speaking to us again. Now, Weina, overall, how was this budget received by Malaysians, especially those in finance like yourself?
I would say pretty positive. Yeah. I think prior to the budget announcement, everybody was kind of preempted that it would be the mother of all budgets. Yeah. And suddenly this was the biggest federal budgets, having close to about 322.5 billion, sorry, being a finance person, 322.5%. So very much higher than what it was tabled at 2020. Yeah. Number two, I think we heard the theme of the budget, which was Teguh Kita Menang Bersama, right? So in English, resilient as one, together we triumph. You look at the overall budget's goals, what were they? So the Minister of Finance said, number one is the rakyat's well-being. Number two is the business continuity. Number three, economic resilience. So did it really cover all three goals? I would say very extensively. You also heard what the Prime Minister commented over the media, I think during the weekends and all that the priority was to allocate for the people. Yeah, so this kind of make it again a very different one. If not for the COVID, I think definitely you would see a different angle.
Yeah.
So in overall, I would say it tries to strike a balance between providing support to the life and livelihoods, and also trying to invest in growth, as well as to be prepared for an economic recovery for tomorrow. You can see the whole range of the allocations in the Bantuan Prihatin Rakyat, the Penjana Kerjaya, the targeted wage subsidiary, fundings for development projects, special incentive package for high value added technology, so on and so forth. So I think at the end of the day, it's probably to kind of lead us towards what they call the 6R approach under the Economic Recovery Plan. So, which means to resolve, to be resilient, to restart, to recover, to revitalize, and to reform.
So we're in the revitalize stage right now.
Yeah, I would say maybe probably a little bit of recovery, maybe in between from the recovery to revitalize. Yeah.
Okay. I think a lot of question on Malaysians' mind is, where are we getting this 322.5 billion ringgit allocated for next year?
Well, I guess the Minister of Finance has explained quite clearly a lot of it comes from borrowings, and borrowings for this budget has kind of escalated sky high to about close to 60% of the GDP. So a lot of the economist has also commented to whether, you have a very large borrowing, is it good or is it bad? I guess it's not only us, it's probably the same around many of the other countries, apart from those who have quite a huge coffer, that have saved over the surpluses of their budgets. So I wouldn't say that it is a good or bad thing. I guess he will know how to do his maths. But if you have read what the World Bank has said, I think it's very important to how we manage this. Because, and the assumptions that we have based to say that the economy will recover, right, on a growth rate next year, close to about 5.50% or 6%. What if the economy did not recover? Yeah, that is something that we do not want to go towards, and let's pray very hard on that as well.
Yeah. Now, looking at the budget way now, were the tax subsidies sufficient to relieve people of their burdens?
I guess it was targeted, and it contains measures to, in his words, or in the Ministers of Finance or even Prime Minister's word, to help every level of society. So let me just have a quick walkthrough of, let's say you look at the tourism industry, which is which was and has been and still is very highly affected. So there was again the wage subsidy that was in place for them. We talked about the retrenched airline employees, and there was also a special mention about training and placement programs for close to 8,000 of them. Yeah, HRDF contributions, again an extension of the contribution to HRDF, i.e. they need not continue to pay for another 6 months starting January 21. In terms of the healthcare, good news, you get tax reliefs now that covers vaccination, right? Whether it's COVID-19 or, let me try to pronounce this, pneumococcal or influenza, kind of all this very relevant to our health and keeping us well. Medical expenses for serious illnesses, the treatment has now, the tax relief that you claim for those medical expenses can go up from 6,000 to 8,000. Very interesting, full medical treatment checkup for us also has increased from 500 to 1,000 ringgit. On youth and sports, we saw the lifestyle relief was increased from 2,005 to 3,000. This part is a little bit disappointing for me because the 500 incremental was specially mentioned to cater for the cost of purchasing equipment, the entries to rental fees for sports facilities. So like, I think many may rent the badminton courts and all that, and they could claim, but I would have preferred a little more expanded scope. Like the ones, for example, the purchases that we had to do for working from home, or even the cost of masks, etc., etc. Yeah. In terms of education, savings for the SSPM also has increased. The tax relief that you can claim on that increased from 6,000 to 8,000. Housing for the first timers, the young ones who are beginning to plan properly, this is also a good time if you can afford low interest rates. Full tax exemption, yeah, the stamp duty exemption. Technology, the B40, apart from getting all the BSH cash outs, they also get a 180 technology support on the bandwidth. Yeah, so I guess in all perspective spectrum of the society, each and everyone gets a fair bit of the measures that were proposed in budget 2021.
Now let's discuss the EPF. In your opinion, what are the consequences of utilizing money from the EPF? Because that was a big contention as well, I think, on a lot of people's minds as well.
So the question was, should we not? Should we allow EPF1 withdrawal? Maybe one very interesting and very eye-opening fact, if you have read, they said that 54% of the EPF contributors age 54, and this is as at September, yeah, have savings of less than 50,000 for retirement.
Wow.
This is after working their whole lives.
Most of their lives.
Exactly. Yeah. Very, very little. Yeah. And I don't know, but you know, since young, we have always been told by the teachers or in the great ones that they say, try to save at least 20% of your salary, right? 20% of your salary. I think if you read from, again, what PM said, they really had a tough time to kind of decide, because they know the consequences if you allow, you allow every, the whole amount of EPF1, because if you don't cap it, definitely the wave of withdrawals will come in. So the approach that they took as a targeted approach, I would say was very good. Yeah. So they do allow now, hopefully from January 2021, the withdrawal of 500 ringgit, 500 ringgit per month and up to 6,000 a year for EPF to withdraw from account number 1. Don't forget, you have the iLustery withdrawal facilities that's already ongoing for 500 per month for 12 months. So both accounts, they also have capped it to say that your total withdrawal will be up to 12,000 a year. And again, the withdrawal from EPF account 2, they also want to expand it to allow people to buy insurance and Takaful products relating to life and critical illnesses. So again, a coverage for them. So I would say that at the end of the day, a more confined and more targeted approach, this would help, at least for those who really need funds.
Instant cash. That means
Yeah.
take some out, don't take out everything.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Right. Because instant fund means money goes back into the economy. It will hopefully stir something, and then people won't be as much in dire straits, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How about for the SMEs, Weina? Do you believe that what was given is sufficient to help keep SMEs running?
So everybody was kind of really zooming into, okay, what is there for SME? So maybe it didn't come out that, that wow, SME, you're going to get this. And if you hear a lot of commentaries, people do say that, hey, since March 18 until now, in fact, there have been a lot ongoing. So that is still ongoing itself. So I think that's good. Important to kind of note from the budget is exactly what is it, where is it, and how to go for it. I think if I am in the SME, I would want to know. So from the general reading of the budget speech, they have given, I think, they've mentioned two areas. One would be the SME digitalization grant scheme and the automation grant. This is a additional funds, which means it has been ongoing. And this is in addition, 150 million will be provided. So it's again relaxed to micro SMEs and startups who have been in operation for 6 months. So the message will be really go and look for it. SME Corp, the agency, the banks, talk to them, understand what is it in for them. And not forgetting also through the Prihatin and Penjana packages, you're talking about, close to 1.9 billion of soft loan funds and grants have been provided to help the SMEs and micro SME entrepreneurs. So it's not that there isn't any, but it could be a little bit here and there, again, not consolidated to make it easy. So hopefully SME, I would say, as the main central agency that governs the SMEs, can kind of consolidate again what we have, where we have it, and how do we get it.
Okay. I think the SMEs are actually looking more for, all right, you can get X amount of grants for those that are this size or whatnot, and then you can get this amount of loans. But the worry now is that I saw someone commenting that the moratorium and the wage subsidies is not going to keep their business afloat. So that's the worry, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So again, it's we talk about how to manage the 3 C's for SMEs, right? The cash flows and all that. So again, probably SME got to start to change their mindset and start to rethink how business should be run. Do you still need to maintain an office, right? That itself, you can help to cut down rental expenses. There are many things, I think. So it's probably time again to not remain again hardcore on what you used to do, because what you used to do, I think, will never be what you will be doing.
Yeah, I think a lot of leadership coaches have taught us that it's time to pivot as well.
Exactly.
As individuals and as businesses, I think. Yeah. Now, with the cessation of wage subsidies, Weina, how will this impact the B40 group, who are already subjected to pay cuts due to COVID-19? Actually, it's not just the B40 group, I think, right? Even the M40s.
Yeah, that's correct. So you probably have read or listened that the wage subsidy actually will still be extended for another 3 months. However, for this time, it is for the targeted sector. Essentially in those in the tourism sector and those probably also in the retail sector. Also for another 3 months, and it's the rate of 600 ringgit for those earning 4,000 and below. Again, they have increased the limit of workers for those who would qualify for the wage subsidy. Previously in the range of 200, is now increased to 500. So if you look at B40, there's a lot of cash out. So in a wide range, I would say you've got that 50 ringgit special vouchers, to buy the Takaful Hyatt and personal accident insurance. You've got, again, the BPN and BSH payouts, the My Salam protection again, on the medical device cost. You've got, I'm just scanning through lots, for example, non-working OKU allowances also have been increased. Senior citizens, patients assistance, also have increased from 350 to 500 ringgit. Children from poor family, again, between the age of 7 to 18, the assistance also has increased from 100 and 150. The internet assistance, I think we have mentioned about that. But interestingly, of course, for households, you're talking about households of income ranging from those less than 2,500 to those, let's say, between 4,001 and 5,001. And depending on the number of children they have, whether it's one or two, there's a whole range again under the BSH. Now they call it the BPR assistance, that they actually get cash incentives ranging from 350 where you're a single and up to 750 where you are a household income of 5,001. So the range of 350, 1,008 to covering those of various incomes, especially what we call it as the M10, those in the 4,001 and 5,001 category of household income. You have these cash incentives from the BPR who can actually help apart from the wage subsidy to the employers.
Okay. So all these we have to apply for them, this BPR.
I would
the
get
B40
yes.
and the M10 community will have to apply for it.
Yes, and I believe that the government agencies would have their records, since they would have also been receiving it since early March. So again, the assistance will continue. So there is actually, I would say, it's given hope to help sustain these families.
Okay. How about for individuals like us, freelancers, contractors? How can we benefit from this budget? I don't know where to place us, but we are contractors.
Super small SMEs.
On SMEs. Sorry, I don't think you will probably get the BPR assistance. But if you look at maybe let's focus on the tax reliefs, the tax reliefs that was mentioned, a whole range of it. And again, this is aligned to what the PM says is a budget that was dedicated to the people. So we've got a fair share of reliefs of medical treatment in case those, fortunately, who have serious illnesses. So it's now increased from 6,000 to 8,000. I mentioned about health screening. Please go for your annual health screen. It's now doubled out from 500 to 1,000. Those with special needs, for example, for your parental care, it's been increased from 5,000 to 8,000. Of course, we heard about the 1 percentage point down in terms of the chargeable income band from 50,001 ringgit to 70,000. That band, which is currently at 14% income tax rate, so it's now reduced to 13%. In quantum,
does it really make that much of a difference? 1%.
Like you say, you ask, I give.
Okay.
Better than nothing,
yes.
right?
Okay.
So of course, in quantum wise, you look it's about 200 ringgit savings. Sorry, in percentage points, it's just about 4%, little bit, but better than nothing.
Yes.
Other than that, tuition fees. I think there's this category where those taxpayers, if you want to further your studies, you can get tax relief for the education fees. But now it's been extended to include for those who need to upskill themselves and to be certified by professional bodies. They can get again 1,000 ringgit. I like the PRS, the private retirement schemes. Again, the contributions that you put in, it's been extended again. Previously was supposed to end in 2021, where you can claim up to tax relief of 3,000. So now it's been extended from 2022 to the year 2025. So at least, I guess it's kind of helped you put in savings, it's good for you. You can claim tax relief. At the same time, you help to kind of spur up the securities equity markets a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
The one that you put on savings for your children, SSPM, again, very good increase in the tax relief from 6,000 to 8,000. So a whole lot range. Again, this is going to start from the year 2021, if we have read it clearly. So again, 2020 income will still be the old or existing laws. So it's going to only be effect from the year of income 2021.
Okay.
All right. Also on the EPF, also I think there's the percentage of contribution has been lowered as well, right?
Yeah, it's lowered from, I think as existing 11%, there's the option for you to go down to 7%.
Yeah.
So they are now trying to say that let's put it mandatory, reduce it, because at the end of the day, I think the intent is to, again, what we said last time was how to have more disposable income. So the 11% is now being proposed to reduce to 9%. Now, again, everybody is saying, is it going to be compulsory? Can I still opt to if I can afford to still set aside? Remember, we talk about savings, right?
Yeah.
I believe they're saying that it is an option that you can still write to apply. So this is normally done through the employers, where those who want to maintain at the 11%, they can still maintain.
Okay. All right. Now, in your opinion, Weina, what was done right and what could have been done better in this Unity Budget 2021?
Instead of saying what would have done right, I would say that, again, number one, you would see that the government has taken all efforts to try to kind of jumpstart the economy, including how to borrow, how to fund these economic boosting initiatives.
Yeah.
We talk about how to increase its disposable income. Yes, you see the various kind of cash payouts, reduction in EPF, because again, it's that whole cycle, right? If we don't spend, businesses won't survive. The whole thing gets hit. It's going to be bad. So like I said, very important thing is how do we make sure that this is sustainable? Again, hopefully the economy will kind of revive back to a good growth that can help us sustain. I like the one about the digital, trying to scale us up and how do we bridge about the digital divide. Yeah, so you can see that there's the National Digital Infrastructure Plan that is put in place to put all of us, including especially the SMEs, in the right direction. So I think the government has done what it can do, right? And the PM puts in the biggest headline as in they will do all it can. So let's just stand by the theme, teguh kita menang bersama, right? If not, then it is very difficult to propel us to a better 2021.
But Weina, if you were the finance minister, if you could just make one extra change for the rakyat, what would it be?
Well, this is tough. I mean, in the budget, I was especially taken when, if you look at the fourth strategy, the Minister of Finance mentioned that they want to prioritize an inclusive agenda. This itself, I think it's a very interesting area that he tries to cover all. So I think all organizations are now talking about incentives, inclusiveness and diversity. And the Minister of Finance himself, I would say, has already done, coming from a commercial background, I think he knows what inclusiveness is all about. Yeah. So to the best, I wouldn't say that there are spots that were not covered. Maybe not covered as much as we would like to. Yeah, like to have. But at the end of the day, I think it's as much as we can do, especially with the fiscal constraint that we have.
Yeah.
We're not having like I said, billions in the coffers. Yeah. So let's do the best with it.
Yeah.